So earlier, out of nowhere, Nintendo revealed a Star Fox Direct. I was actually taking a nap while that happened. Like, I got notified by, like, the Meech as well as you and Nintendo Today when I woke up, and I just saw Star Fox Direct, and I was like, what is happening? And I tuned in, I did the reaction, and it ended up being another remake of Star Fox 64. And I mean, on paper, that does sound really boring, and of course, the thing that Nintendo's gonna do with Star Fox, but they're actually pulling it off pretty well. And I will say, like, when looking at the context of this, I feel like a Star Fox 64 remake, despite it being the fourth time like they're making this game. It's like it does make sense when you kind of look at it in the bigger picture. So we're kind of gonna discuss this remake and like various things about it because I think it looks pretty good so far, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm really impressed with the visuals of it, and I don't know, it looks really fun.
Yeah. And I know the elephant in the room here is the character designs. I know that's like one thing that
Mm.
everyone is talking about, either if you like don't like it or really appreciate it. Like, I'm kind of more on the positive side of these character designs, because I think while they do look very weird and unconventional, I kind of like them, honestly. Like, I think they look pretty
Yeah.
interesting. Because I would say, I'm not gonna LARP as a Star Fox fan, because I know I'm not a Star Fox fan. Like, I've only played the original in 64, but I know with the character designs, like, just from what I've seen of, like, promotional renders and things, like, they did get kind of a bit rigid and kind of standardized over the years, kind of going into, like, the 3DS and Wii U era, almost kind of similar to Mario in a way. Like, with Star Fox Zero, I feel like the character designs just look very, like, I don't know, just kind of boring, honestly. It's like, this is what you would
Yeah.
expect in, like, a stock Nintendo game. Like, looking at this, like, Star Fox remake here, it's like, they look a lot more interesting. This is, like, not a... This is, like, not a character design you would expect to see from Nintendo. And I think that's partially what makes it so interesting here. It's like, it feels different from Nintendo, despite the fact that there are a lot of, like, realistic looking remakes out there. I feel like the fact that Nintendo is tackling it, and like the fact that like it looks very clean, I would say, I think this is just very intriguing, and I actually like this direction. It actually kind of reminds me of the original puppets that they used for the promotional material for the original Star Fox, and I think that was the intention here. I think these designs are based off of those.
Yeah. Like, to me, what I really like about seeing these character designs, it just feels so next gen. I think that's the best way to describe it. It feels like, oh, we're properly making them like modern characters. Which, again, not to say that the old designs or the more cartoonish ones are bad. And of course, we're not gonna make Mario look like, super realistic. That would be not the greatest idea. But I think with like these characters, they've needed a refresh for a long time. I felt that the old designs were very rigid and very bobblehead-like, very stiff. He barely looks like he has a neck. It's just,
Yeah.
to me, I like how this is he's more natural looking. I will say the thing that kind of, when I saw the first time, like, when you see the renders, I didn't
Mhm.
realize the second half would look so different. I didn't think he looked so like stubby with like the hind legs and stuff. But I see, it's really like, I have to say, the more I look at the characters, the more I like them. I think that's the best way of describing it.
Yeah. It's like, I think, like, especially looking at the promotional renders, like, I kind of, like, see what they're going for here. And I would say, like, I especially like Slippy's design, because it seems like they still retain, like, kind of like the energy and just like style of his character, but kind of translated that more into like kind of a more realistic looking design. Whereas like Fox seems like he got more like significant changes, but he still looks pretty good, and I kind of like what they're going for here. So it's like, I definitely like appreciate the direction that they're going in. But I do think these designs are a bit meme-worthy at the same time. It is kind of funny, like, because I was thinking, like, Pigma's design kind of looks like like that new awful Animal Farm movie. Not to say that his design is bad. Like, I like that design. I just think it's funny because it kind of reminds me of that awful Animal Farm movie that just released. It also kind of looks like John Pork as well. It's like these designs are good, but they're also like really meme-worthy. Like, this will be Star Fox in 2013, or Nintendo hire this man.
It's like, you know, like the moment with Minecraft as well, Minecraft movie. It's like, oh my gosh, they look so like realistic, right?
Yeah.
You know, but to me, I think, you know, with this kind of thing is the number of people, you know, get used to it, the more people like it. And I kind of think that, you know, when you look at something like, for example, the Minecraft movie, when everybody saw that, people were like, burn it, we hate it, you know, it's the worst thing ever. But then, you know, it came out and people actually, like, really liked a lot of things about it, right? And it became, you know, maybe not the story and things, whatever, but people actually really liked what they did with it when they actually saw the full picture, right? And again, this game, you know, when it releases, we'll see more things about it, right? And people will be able to form their final opinions, and that's one thing I would say too, right? They've given us a tease. We haven't played the game yet, so we can't really say, oh, the character designs are bad, right? Because we haven't played it. Maybe if we play it, we're like, okay, maybe, you know, then maybe we'll change their mind about it. But I think it's the best thing to see the final product before make up your full decision, right?
Yeah. And also, I think, like, another example of, like, kind of adjusting to, like, character designs is, like, the Link's Awakening remake. I remember, like, back when that was revealed, like, people were, like, just, like, they didn't exactly like the toy-like art style they were going for. They kind of, like, I've seen some people say that they kind of wanted it to go for, like, a more, like, kind of, like, I guess, anime-esque, for lack of a better term, direction, kind of like the artwork of the game, kind of more in line with that. But when the game released, like, I feel like the art style ended up being praised a lot. Like, a lot of people appreciated it and saw what Nintendo was going for, and I guess Grezzo as well with that. So, it became one of the best remakes, in most highly regarded remakes on the Switch 1, despite its performance issues. So it's like, I feel like something similar is gonna happen with the Star Fox remake here. I feel like these designs are gonna take some getting used to for some people, but I feel like over time,
you know, they'll have to grow on people.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it will grow on a lot of people over time. I mean, of course, like, there are still gonna be some people who like don't like these designs, and for, like, understandably so, but I feel like most people will probably adjust to these designs, because, like, it's like, at first they're like, wow, I would not expect to see something like this in a Nintendo game, but, like, looking at them more,
like, it's shocking, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's really like, whoa, right? And that was my opinion too, and I thought, I was like, it took me a second to really adjust and be like, whoa, like, what am I looking at? What, you know, it took me like quite a bit. Like, after it ended, I was like, this just happened all of a sudden, and now I've watched this, and like, what do I think about it? It's very, like, very sudden, right?
Yeah. In another thing, going back to the fact that it's a Star Fox 64 remake, I know that's like the running joke of, like, the Star Fox community. Nintendo only knows how to make Star Fox 64. They never make other games. Like, I think, like, is like, we got, like, Star Fox 64 in itself is technically like a rehash of the original Star Fox. Then Star Fox 64 3D was like a remaster of 64. Then Star Fox Zero was a rehash of 64. So it's kind of, and then we're getting another Star Fox 64 remake. I kind of understand, like, the joke behind that, and the fact that this is, like, so, like, crazy and funny that we're getting another Star Fox 64 remake. But at the same time, though, I feel like this is, like, the first time that a Star Fox 64 remake could actually lead to something else. Like, with Star Fox 64 3D, I mean, that was just, like, a remaster on the 3DS. Like, I forgot who even developed that, but it was, like, that clearly wasn't meant to, like, make Star Fox, like, a big thing on the 3DS again. So it was, like, just like a simple little remaster that was pushed out there. And then Star Fox Zero, that was supposed to be a reboot for Star Fox, but like they didn't do, like the game ended up not being very good, and it was on a console that no one bought, so it just completely fell flat, and then like Nintendo and Platinum like didn't follow up with it. That didn't really like work out. So now, like, we have the Switch 2, and despite what grifters say, is a very successful console so far. Like, still, wide pool of people that this game will be available to. And it's also, like, going off of the Mario Galaxy movie, which, like, Fox had a, like, fairly substantial presence in. I feel like this game could actually sell fairly well. I don't think it's gonna sell like insanely well or anything, but I think like probably like Pikmin 4 numbers, maybe even a little better than that. I feel like that's definitely possible for a game like this, and I feel like that could then lead to like more games being made in this engine and style. This just feels like the template to work off of, honestly.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of people see it in a way, like you have to see it in two ways. One, the fans, and two, the business side, right? You know, this franchise has pretty much gotten unlucky and has struggled. But I don't think it's necessarily the franchise's fault. I mean, most of the times, you know, it's like the 3DS one was probably the best chance they got. And I think that game's still pretty good, right? The 3DS one. And even, you know, 64. But when you look at it, right, like, you know, the GameCube wasn't the most successful console ever, so then people who bought like Star Fox Assault was going to be lower than the people who bought Star Fox Adventures. And then when you look at, you know, the DS one, like that one maybe could have done a bit better. I'm surprised. Maybe, actually, I don't know how well that one did, but you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't do super well, even though the DS was very successful.
Yeah.
But really, the thing is, it skipped the Wii generation. There was never a Star Fox game on Wii, and I think that was a big mistake, because the Wii was very successful, and a motion control based one would have been very, very, I think, very cool. It would have been definitely better than doing whatever they did with the Wii U one, right? Star Fox Zero, which also got extremely just, everything went wrong with that game, right? They really tried, but it came out at the wrong time, on the wrong console, and it was really gimmicky. So just, it never really got the sort of things it needed. I mean, there's a reason that they didn't port that game over to Switch.
Yeah,
so I think really, you know, that's the problem.
I'm looking back at like the sales of the Star Fox series, and like despite like some games like Star Fox Command being released on like the DS, like you said, like it didn't sell very well. It didn't even crack 500,000 copies, which is crazy.
Yeah, that game's kind of weird too, because it's not even really a Star Fox game. Like, it's this like sort of puzzle tactics game. Like, it's a very different thing. Like, you have to, like, it doesn't play like a traditional game, and I don't know why they didn't just make a traditional game. I think if they would have just done like a like the SNES kind of style, it would have been way better.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just do that. They tried something weird, and it's interesting. It's an interesting game, and it does actually seem kind of like the end of the franchise at that kind of point, because it has like lore and stuff, and has all of the like, characters that appeared in Star Fox Assault and stuff. It's kind of like, it's almost a sequel to that, but it's a very strange game, and it doesn't make sense for that to be, you know, like the true Star Fox game on that system, right? Like, they could have done something a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more ambitious, but they went with something a little simpler, a little bit more of like almost like a budget game. But it is a cool kind of thing, but it's just weird.
Yeah. So it's like,
right?
I think like I think like also looking at Star Fox 64 3D, that barely cracked 1 million. That was like, I think like looking at the like sales numbers, I think that was just very slightly over 1 million. So it's like the series really haven't pushed like substantial numbers since like either the original 64 and to a lesser degree Star Fox Adventures, since that sold like 1.8 million, which isn't too bad. I would say that's like, for Star Fox standards, I think that's like decent. But it's like, I feel like this this new I know it's technically a remake, but this new game, I feel like this has the most potential
It has the
to
best
make,
chance.
yeah,
Yeah.
to make a splash and actually like sell pretty well, I would say.
Like, I think to me, you look at it the same way as Pikmin. Like, it's kind of a very similar franchise in terms of its like the release cadence, where it, it had a weird game on the 3DS. That was a weird thing. Then they had the Wii U game, which came out on the wrong time, wrong console. And then the GameCube ones, which are the most successful, kind of like how the GameCube one for Star Fox Adventure was pretty good and well received. So and then I mean, I guess you could say though that Pikmin did appear on the Wii U, unlike Star Fox. But the thing is with that is it released those Wii versions came out really late anyways. It didn't really count at that point, almost, right? Like they were very later. So I would kind of compare Star Fox to Pikmin, where the franchise needed something, and it's come a long way, I think, from the beginning to Switch now to Switch 2, right?
Yeah.
With Pikmin 4 and all the games. I guess you could even say Metroid to some extent, but that I think is a different situation that really doesn't, it's not really so much of a luck thing, other than it being sort of just potentially bad decision making, but yeah, like that's how I kind of look at it, right? And it seems like they're trying to follow a similar formula to Pikmin, where you have a new game and you try to push merchandise, you try to push all these things to try and make the franchise relevant, and I think that's what they're going to try with this.
Oh yeah.
Because really, when you think about the Nintendo franchises that we have, we pretty much have them all at this point, like of the major ones. I mean,
F-Zero crying in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, well, there was F-Zero 99. Like,
yeah.
So I would count that technically. But I guess you could say, oh, but we're missing Pushmo, or we're missing I don't know, like a super obscure one.
Yeah.
Chibi
there, Robo.
Like, I don't know. Chibi Robo. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say, or Wario Land, or there's no Sin and Punishment. Where is that? Like some of the Steel Diver. Where's Steel Diver? Where's that?
But we have like all like the kind of the heavy hitters, like the ones that I don't mean heavy hitter in a literal sense. I know people are gonna be like, oh, but where's my 3D Mario? But like I think they have all the like franchises you would usually think of Nintendo now.
But yeah, I think the best way of kind of saying is a lot of these franchises we've needed for quite a while now, with Rhythm Heaven, Tomodachi Life. It kind of feels like we've really got most of them, or pretty much every major one. I'd still like to see new Wario Land and some other stuff, but I think Nintendo's done a great job with just giving us a bunch of games.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, it seems like they might do even more with Star Fox, since I think there were also and of course I'm just taking this with a grain of salt, but I've also heard things about like a potential like follow-up, the Star Fox Adventures, which I think would be pretty interesting too. Like maybe like put the original on NSO, then also make a new game. In terms of its visual style, I think they're gonna it's probably gonna be slightly different than this game, like slightly different art style, same general character designs, but like kind of adapt them to like whatever developer is making like that potential Adventures follow-up in. But like I think that would be pretty interesting too, kind of like introduce some of the other characters like Crystal into this like new era of Star Fox. And I could definitely see them doing that sometime soon. Like it would make sense if they're gonna like do like a big push for Star Fox like this.
Yeah. To me, this is kind of like that one franchise that we haven't really seen anything. Like really, the whole Switch generation went by, and there wasn't a single here's new merch, here's anything. They really didn't touch it. Pikmin, we've got a lot of cool stuff with it. Even some other franchises got things. Heck, even Chibi Robo got on NSO. But Star Fox has been sort of one where they've really ignored it, and to me, I was like, the longer they don't touch it, the more they need to reintroduce it. I mean, really 10 years since Star Fox. Yeah, I think it would be over 10 years now. I think it came out in like March 2016, Star Fox Zero. So at this point, like most people don't even really know what this franchise is. So this is the perfect way to do it by saying, okay, um, this is what the franchise is. Try out this game, which is sort of like the best general idea of it, right? And that's why they're
Yeah,
putting it
like
out
the
as
basic
what they are,
foundation.
right? Yeah, if they
Hmm.
would have done something Star Fox, Galaxy or something, or Star Fox Armada, or Star Fox Racing. Do you remember that? Star Fox GP,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
Star Fox Grand Prix.
yeah, I remember that.
Oh my gosh. I know, like
Yeah.
that. Considering like that was 2018 and that was like closer to Star Fox stuff than it is now. Actually, you know what? The one thing I forgot about, actually going back to the one correction I want to make with like, oh, there hasn't been Star Fox in a while. And I mean, I guess you could say it's been a while anyway since that was Ubisoft's Battle for Atlas game that they had Star Fox included, and that was a really cool thing. Kind of crossover with that franchise. I know you could say that's really Ubisoft that kind of did that, like Mario plus Rabbids or whatever. But that was pretty much Star Fox like last major thing, right? So even since then,
Yeah.
it was nothing. There was like, oh, here's no, like, I always thought it was funny too how there was icons on the Switch for Fox, McCloud, and the other. I think the other characters, or was it just that and the logo and the R wing for a while, or because that was kind of it. And I was always confused. I was like, wait a minute, like there were Pikmin there was Animal Crossing characters, and eventually we got those games. But Star Fox was always sort of just, it was just there, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Like they never really did much. But actually, another thing I will say, and I don't know if you know this, I think it was probably 2 years ago. I think I want to say it was 2024, like early 2024, or it could have even been last year. Um, I remember seeing there was some article about Nintendo was trying to make a Star Fox game, and they wanted a studio. This could be for that Adventures one. This could not be for that. It could be for this one. But I remember hearing something about like there was a rumor about developing started of this new game. So I don't know if it was this one or it was another one, but I remember hearing that a
Yeah.
while ago. And there was even rumors about Ubisoft being involved or something, but I don't know. I have no idea,
I would
who's the
like.
developer of this game.
I would not say it's like something like Ubisoft. I think that's like. I think that's like kind of outside of the realm of like what Nintendo would usually like do, because I think this is like very much like one of Nintendo, like very likely a developer that Nintendo usually works with for like major projects like this. I think it's probably like, I mean, looking at this remake, I'm thinking it's either Next Level Games or Bandai Namco. I'm thinking it's one of the two. I mean, I think Bandai Namco already did developed Star Fox games in the past. I think Assault was developed by Bandai Namco, I believe. So I think it would make sense if this was Bandai Namco. I don't think it's Platinum. I think like I think that like after Star Fox Zero, the ship sailed with that. But with I think Bandai Namco makes sense. Next Level Games also makes sense as well. It's been quite a while since Next Level Games has like made a game. I think the last one was Mario Strikers Battle League, and that was like very small. Like I mean, Battle League barely has any content. Their last like big game was Luigi's Mansion 3. And then again, this is still a remake. It's not like a particularly huge game. So I think it would make sense for like Next Level Games to develop this as well. And I mean, their games usually look like visually impressive for whatever system that they're on. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was developed by Next Level Games as well, because if they're doing some like if they're doing like a reboot or like some grand return of a franchise like Star Fox that they kind of clearly want to bring back into the spotlight, make it one of their new major franchise, or I guess like returning major franchises, they would want to get a developer that they usually trust. So I think it's probably Next Level Games or Bandai Namco.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably not some outside thing. Usually they usually get that for like once they sort of have a brand identity and they want to make maybe that like Adventures one could be. I do want to hear your opinion though. Like, do you think they would potentially even do just an Adventures remake? They could do that. It's an option, obviously.
I don't know. I think like the schedule seems pretty remake heavy for Nintendo, especially for a new console right now. I mean, there's also the rumored Ocarina of Time remake. I'm not sure if they're gonna do like, oh, we're gonna remake one Star Fox game, then we're gonna remake another Star Fox game. That might seem like a bit too much. So I think they're gonna put Star Fox Adventures on NSO first, and then like kind of like say like, oh, you could play that one, and then you could play the new one. Maybe like the new one won't be like, I mean, it could be like a sequel, but also like does its own thing as well and be in that style. I think like they might do it that way if that ends up happening. So that's what I think is probably gonna. I'm not sure if they would want to do like another remake there, especially with the potential for them to put it on like Nintendo Switch Online and everything. So, but yeah.
Yeah, because what's the rest of the games? There's like a leak as well about there's like Ocarina of Time, right? That'd be a big remake if they do that. Right, so that like there's a lot of remakes potentially, which I mean I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing because with the upgraded power I think they could really do some cool stuff. Obviously he was right, wasn't
he was right. It's like Jeff Grubb all over again.
He was right.
But yeah,
but... he was very much correct about it, and I wouldn't think that the rest of the stuff would be fake then at that point. He did say that there'd be coming a Switch Sports game, Pikmin 4 Switch 2 edition. I could see that getting announced soon as well. I think even some other stuff we'll see. But I think Nintendo's in a good place. I think there will be a Direct in June. I'm pretty sure that will happen. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't one because they definitely need that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's just funny how they're shadow dropping stuff like this game. Just all of a sudden, they're just telling, press the button now. It's like, what? Yeah, just send it. What do you mean? Oh, just send it. We just needed to just play the video. Like what? Like launch it now. We just like pick like a random time, and it's like they just press the button. They get Miyamoto to press it, and he's like, now. And then it's like, I just kind of find how abrupt it was. It wasn't even like next day or even like in a few hours we'll play it, because then people could start their streams, get it all set up to do stuff. Instead it's like we're doing it right now in 5 minutes. It's like what? It's
yeah,
like
that
so
was
quick.
really weird. Like I think like I woke up like after it aired, like cause like I just woke up, I saw like the Star Fox Direct thing. I didn't even realize like what time it aired. I was like,
me too.
I don't even remember what time it aired because I think I was just like still asleep at that time, like taking a nap.
Because what happened was I saw it pop up, and then it said like, well, it was kind of weird because it said it was like Pacific time, and it said like 3 PT, and I was like 3 p.m. PT. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And I look a little bit more, and then it's like, oh, it starts in 5 minutes, and like the video is playing live, and I'm like, what's happening?
That was insane. Like I think like that's probably like the shortest amount of time between a direct reveal and then when it, or direct announcement, and then when it actually happened. Like I feel like I fully like
why even bother just announcing it? Just shadow drop the whole video.
Yeah,
that was what I was kind of surprised, because obviously they've done it before with like the
Mario
Directs.
Or
the Mario Direct.
Yeah.
The Direct Mini that we had in that's probably quite a long time ago at this point. That one in 2020, that mini one that they just shadow dropped, and that was kind of a very specific scenario with that one. But it's very rare that they're just like, here it is now. Like even indie thing, like the Nintendo, what's it called? The Indies one.
The Indie
even
World.
That is Indie World. Yeah. So even those, they usually say like a general time. Maybe they just wanted the shock factor, but I'm surprised they didn't at least just say in an hour we'll show it, you know. And 5 minutes is just like, what's even the point then at that point, you know? It's just drop the video. um you know, it's so strange. It also just makes you think that, like, you know how they record this stuff, like when Miyamoto had a like they recorded for like the Mario movie, is like, it's kind of like a thank you for watching. I think they posted that not so long ago. It's kind of funny to think that, like, how much stuff do they really record in those sessions, because they record that and this as well, and they just save it for like one day. And then, like, they probably had this video done for like the past few weeks too, just waiting for the day. And I always just find it funny with that. They're just kind of holding it. You would think the sooner, I mean, the earlier that they would release the trailer, the earlier they can get pre-orders in, get shops to supply the game. Just kind of like having it randomly, it kind of creates a bit of like panic, like, what's going on?
Yeah, I do think, though, I think a month and a half.
It's a good strategy, though.
Yeah, I think a month and a half is like enough time for like the word to get out to like retailers and things, because I think,
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like, it's cutting it close, but it's like good. It's as close, I think, as they could cut it, right?
yeah, it's not like a Sega Saturn situation where it like releases the day that it's announced, and like some like which really angers like retailers and things. It's like, because usually if Nintendo does shadow drop a game, they release the physical version like a few weeks later. So like,
I guess one thing I will say is that, like, Galaxy did cut it close. The physical version of Galaxy 1+2, that was close.
Yeah. Also, 3D
Even,
All Stars
like,
as well.
Metroid as well. Yeah, Metroid Prime, 3D All Stars.
I think it's like, I think
there has been scenarios. I mean, this is obviously not as crazy, but like, this still is quite fast.
Yeah, I think it's like probably like a 2 to 3 week window minimum for these types of things usually. So I think like the window that they're doing with this, I feel like, is definitely enough. It's like kind of similar to like Paper Mario the Origami King a little bit. Maybe it's like a little shorter than that, but like
that was quick too.
It definitely kind of reminds me of that. Honestly, I would say this is probably the craziest Nintendo reveal. Like, I mean, like, not reveal in general, but craziest random Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever weekday it happens since Origami King. I know there have been like crazier announcements in Nintendo Directs, but like just standalone
but you're
announcements.
Right, though, because it's like, even with Origami King or Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, it usually just, here's the trailer, and then you wake up whatever time it is, you know, it's like, oh, okay, what's going on? Oh, there's a trailer, let me watch it, right? With this, though, it was just sort of like, the direct starts in 5 minutes, tune in right now.
One final thing I wanted to say is about the pricing. I think this is actually pretty reasonable, since it will be 50 USD for the digital version and 60 physically, meaning it's gonna be like 50 at Walmart in the US. I'm not sure if they also do the cheaper games at Walmart in Canada, but like, I know they're doing that.
Walmart, usually I haven't really seen any discounts at Walmart for me.
But yeah,
it's
like,
same.
I think like, since like this game will probably be like a little smaller than like the usual game, because it is a remake of 64. I mean, it will have more content and like more things added onto it, and it does kind of feel like a reimagining of sorts. But I think like it is like kind of a slightly smaller title than some other things. So I think like kind of having it in that price range definitely makes sense. And it's good that Nintendo actually seems to be doing variable pricing now. It's like, you have like, which really sucks, Mario Kart World for 80. I don't think that's gonna last. Honestly, I think one of the reasons...
I find that so weird. Like, you know, they want that game to sell well, I guess, but, you know, I find you know what, probably the strategy for Mario Kart World was just get people to buy the bundle and the Switch 2 and to incentivize that. I think that's probably what it was. It has to be, because like, really, it doesn't make sense. Or like, lower the price later, but you don't want to lower and then people get angry. I don't know. It's a whole weird thing. And then there's like,
I think
tariffs and all that stuff too.
I think they probably are going to
So,
lower the price for Mario Kart World. Like, it's like, at this point, I think one of the reasons for why Nintendo actually seems to be committing to variable pricing now is because they possibly saw the sales of Mario Kart World without the bundle existing with the first quarter, or I guess, like, technically the fourth quarter of, like, the 26 physical year, first quarter of, like the actual year. I'm just wondering, if like they saw that between like January and March and they were like, oh, this isn't living up to expectations, so they decide to like kind of introduce like more price points for certain games, and I'm wondering if they will actually drop the price of Mario Kart World eventually. I could definitely see that happening, honestly, but it is nice to see Nintendo like actually committing to what they said before and having games at different price ranges, because I think like having like certain Switch 2 games like Star Fox or Splatoon Raiders for like that $50 price point, like that's kind of nice, honestly. Like these games do, like, I know there is a bit of a concern, like, oh, what if the game isn't very long, what if it doesn't have that much content? I mean, like, I wouldn't really say for sure until, like, it actually releases, but from what we've seen of both Star Fox and Splatoon Raiders, they both look fairly substantial, and they actually look like a game that is worth $50 at the very least, I would say. So, or at least with, like, the Nintendo quality tax, I would say, because I feel like Nintendo games are inherently, like, a little more expensive.
I guess you know, the pricing, right, is like, it's good that they're listening, but it could also be other factors, right? It could be that you know, manufacturing, maybe things have changed. Obviously there was stuff with the tariffs and importing things that could have changed how they are doing that. They obviously look at a lot of information. Maybe they're like, the sales are a bit lower, if we can increase the, you know, even for them, right? They might say, hey, listen, let's increase the console's price, and let's make the games cheaper. They could also be considering something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's a very interesting way to see that.
But anyways, I feel like this is shaping up to be a pretty good kind of reboot of the Star Fox franchise, and even though it's another remake of 64, it seems to be handled pretty well, and I actually appreciate the visual style here. Like, it seems like they're, like, doing most of the right things with this here, and I think this is gonna shape up to be, like, a pretty good release. We didn't even mention the, like, the multiplayer and the online stuff in the game chat, but I feel like that could be a discussion for another day. Just, like, even more stuff that's nice that's here that will add like a lot of replayability to this game. And I also think like there's like the VTuber thing with game chat that I just mentioned.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny as well.
We're gonna record an entire video like that. That's what
Yeah,
we're gonna do.
imagine someone makes like a channel and they like have that as like their avatar in videos. We should do that for like a video where like we're talking about the game and like one of us is like Fox and then like one of us is Falco or something like that. I think that would be pretty funny.
A wolf as well.
Yeah.
One of us be wolf and one you can be Fox and I can be wolf or something.
Yeah, I think you could choose most of the characters too. Like it's not even just Team Star Fox. It's like just like a lot of the other characters as well. So I think that's pretty funny. But
yeah,
anyways,
it's totally a Nintendo thing. So.
Yeah, but anyways, I'm looking forward to this. I think this looks pretty good, and it's great that Star Fox is finally back. But anyways,
yeah.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to go subscribe to Anton Retro, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and stay perky!
See ya!